Are you wondering where you can get course ideas? Yeah, maybe you want to create one killer course, just one course that's going to make you a fortune. And it's not impossible to do that, that's for sure, but it takes a lot of work. And most people that start out don't create one course that make a fortune. So you might be wondering then, where can you get course ideas? So we're going to talk about that in a second, but first, my name is Jean-Serge Gagnon. I help you create digital courses so you can live your life on your terms. And I'm out here in Amyvale, Prince Edward Island. I mean, we don't live right next to a beach. We live in this little valley, as you can see, in the middle of, well, I don't know if you can see, but in the background there's a field of potatoes, and they don't grow potatoes every year there, but yeah. So I'm out here, and I work from home this week, or at least these last couple of weeks, but I have a day job. So this is not like I'm making $1 million creating courses and that kind of stuff yet. But that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm building towards. And maybe you're thinking the same thing. Maybe you want to be generating a full-time income with online courses, digital courses, right? Courses that people can buy from you to learn what you teach them. And you might be thinking, okay, well, how do I get the ideas to create these courses? Like I said in the post, you can't be. Well, not that you can't. It's possible that you can create one course and improve it over time, even though you're just starting out. That's the thing with online marketing. One of the things you might have heard before is that you got to suck first. You got to be no good, right? You got to suck before you can get good. Then you got to be good before you can become great, and you got to become great before you become amazing, right? And that comes from practice. That comes from learning. That's why we go to school for 12 years of our lives, at least, right? If we go do high school, right? And because we know as human beings that we can't just know everything just like that. We got to go learn the things, right? And online marketing is no different. There's so much stuff to learn. And doing courses is the same. You have to learn all sorts of different little things, and just doing the course is one thing. But then there's marketing it, there's hosting it, there's using tools to promote it. There's all sorts of different things that you have to learn to become a successful course creator. But even then, there's the topics. There's what are you going to teach, right? You could, like I said, you could have one topic, and you could do it and suck at it, and then you can redo that same course and redo it and redo it and redo it 10, 20, 30, 50, 100, 200, 1,000 times until you have a killer course. And they say that anything that you do over 7 years, that's the amount of time it takes you to become an expert at something, become a master at something. And you can do that. You can do that. But I bet that you don't want to do that. You don't want to be spending 7 years on the same topic, right? You want to probably do different things, and you want to make people, get to know you better. You want them to like what you have to teach. You want them to learn from you. You want them to love you. You want them to really trust what you're saying and then believe in you. So how do you get those topics? Well, for me, when I'm talking about course creation, right, I'm talking about all these different things that you need to do. If you've been watching me for any length of time, you've seen all sorts of different things that I talk about. Your email list. I talk about creating a Seinfeld email sequence. I talk about creating a soap opera sequence. I talk about creating, funnels to promote your courses, capture pages to capture leads. I talk about growing your Facebook fan page. I talk about growing your audience in your Facebook profile. I talk about growing your LinkedIn audience, your Twitter followers, your Instagram followers. All these things, they all have to do with building an audience so that you can sell your courses to that audience. And for me anyways, those are all topics I could create courses on, because I've learned a lot and I've been able to grow all those things. 23,000 fans on Facebook, 15,000 connections on LinkedIn. I've got, I think it's 20,000 or so followers on Twitter. I've got Well, now I'm at 2,800 followers on Instagram. It's one of my newer accounts, right? So, but the thing is, I'm learning how to do all these things, and I can teach you, I can teach, my audience how to do all these things. So I could create a bunch of different little courses, and I will, but that's because of my day job, it's just time or whatever. But that's how I find the content for my courses. So for you, if you're teaching weight loss, for example, how to eat right, well, you don't have to talk just about how to eat right. And you can talk about recipes, of course, that's related to that. You can talk about buying the right stuff when you go to the grocery store. You can talk about using spices in your food instead of salt and pepper. Well, pepper's okay, but salt is, they say it's not that great. Instead of sugar and salt, you can talk about and anything else, finding the right clothes, buying clothes that makes you feel like you want to lose that weight. Maybe how you put up a pair of pants on a hanger someplace where you can see it every day and see to yourself, I'm going to fit in those pants, in X amount of time. All these different things could become courses. So you got to think about what your main topic is, right? What your main audience is. What do you want to teach your audience? And then think about all the things that you had to learn to get to that point. All the things you had to learn to be able to teach that part. Because it takes a long time to get to where you are now and where you want your audience to get to. It's not just about one thing that they need to do. There's a whole bunch of other things. So just think about those things. Think about those things that you had to go through. Whether it's weight loss, whether it's gardening, whether it's building a house, whether it's changing, maintaining a car, changing oil yourself, all these different things that you had to learn to get to that point where you're trying to teach your audience. Just think of those things, and that'll give you a ton of topics to teach. And you can create a whole bunch of different little courses. Of course, go to Click eCourse, go create courses in there, create a bunch of courses, and have them at $5, $10, $20. You don't have to have a $2,000 course. It's great to have $1,000, $2,000 course, and you should definitely have those. But you can't minimize the importance of having less expensive courses, because that's how your audience gets to know you. By trying your different little courses, they get to know you. Other than, of course, social media and all this. Anyways, like I said, there's a whole bunch of other things. But hopefully you got some value from this. And if you think anybody needs to hear this message, then please go ahead and share. I'm sure they will appreciate it, and I will too. And we'll see you in tomorrow's video.